everyone, and welcome back to another manga chapter review. I am the Rat, and this is The Rat's Nest. Today we are once again back with Oshi no Ko. Today we have chapter 127, I believe. 127, Scouting a Girl. What unfortunate phrasing. We'll get into some of the wording specific stuff later. I hadn't read the title before that. That's pretty good. Get into some of the wording specific stuff that I found kind of funny in the second half of the chapter in a bit. But yeah, so Scouting a Girl. Chapter 127 of Oshi no Ko. This was a very, very good chapter. It's been very good. It's been a lot of fun to get back into it after the basically 2-month break between 125 and 126. I woke up this morning and I was like, I can read Oshi no Ko. That's awesome. And so that was really fun. And we get a chapter next week too. It's unlike Chainsaw Man, where we have the bisexual devil every once in a while. I know what you call it, whatever. We are here with this chapter now, and this was a very, very good chapter. Basically 2 parts to it, right? You have the first part with the Bikamachi strawberry production side of things. The director comes in, yada yada. Sets up the second part, which is where I would say the meat of this chapter is, because obviously this is a Crow Girl chapter. Whenever we see Crow Girl, we know, okay, Akka's cooking. Akka and Mingo are in fact in the kitchen. They're whipping something up. And I think that there's a lot to look at dialogue-wise there. But just in general, this was a hilarious chapter. This was really, really funny. I think sometimes, especially with some of the more recent chapters, there's humor from Ruby in the more recent chapters, but especially 122, 123, being heavier, more serious chapters. Getting back to kind of the funny no-ko. That's so stupid. Getting back to funny no-ko. Getting back to kind of some of the humor in this series, and showing that Aqua himself is still kind of capable of it. Just with Kroger and whatever. We'll get into all of that. That is the second half. So, with all that said, let's just talk about the chapter itself and what we see. So, the first half, right? The first half of this, the basic details are they're going over the plans for the future with Bikamachi. We see that filming for the movie 15 Year Lie will finally begin next week. Sweet, that's awesome. They're doing that. They're gonna be rehearsing. They have some extra free days, saying that Kana's graduation will be held at the end of August, so you use the extra days for practicing. But apparently that there's a tour for Bikamachi at the end of the year, and Kana is going to graduate then, and so it's like a whole funny thing. Just some funny back and forth there. And then the director comes over, and he has the script for the final script for the 15-Year Lie. Just some funny banter. I really like the Kana. You've been playing the role of high school student after all. You'll be fine. Just something completely different. I love Mem. It's fun. Just some very fun interactions between the characters. But then the main point of this chapter is introduced, right? Or one of the roles is blank, and he's like, "Oh, that's for the child actor. We haven't been able to find one. It's not easy to find a good child actor. I've seen many performances by various children all over the country, but unfortunately, when I made them talk in a serious story, they stick out like a sore thumb. Child actors who can handle long lines are truly valuable." Some funny stuff with Kana, right? And then the director says, after this, I still have to look for a child actor. Ruby goes, "Good luck." And we see Aqua. He's kind of been listening in, and then we get to see him walking, and we see crow feathers, and you're like, okay, this is about to be good. Like, I'm about to have to hang on every word here. So, real quick about this first half, fun. It's fun to see all the characters interacting, and like I said, it's good to get back to kind of the comedic roots of Oshi no Ko, for lack of a better term, I guess. But it's good to see that side of Oshi no Ko again, because again, I think recently it's been a lot more focused on the more serious stuff. So to get a kind of more lighthearted chapter like this in those elements was really fun. Just good to see all the characters doing stuff again, especially because it's been so long since we've really gotten to see that. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of this chapter, right? I'm a huge meat and potatoes guy. We got Aqua coming here, and we get Crow Girl, and she says, "For some reason, your face screams, I've made up my mind to hurt people and get hurt." Oh yeah, so that's what Aqua's decided. I guess that's what she's saying. That it looks like he's made up his mind that he's going to go through with this, that he's going to destroy himself, essentially. I think that we already knew this. Just the question was, how is he going to handle it with Ruby? I don't think this is new information here, and that's counting on Crow Girl as a reliable narrator, which I don't know if we fully can count on Crow Girl as a reliable narrator. Though I do have some theories. I'll go ahead and preface this by saying I know that there is all the theories about like the supernatural elements of Oshi no Ko and Crow Girl and like the different gods and that kind of thing and all that. I'm admittedly not 100% studied up on that. So I'm not going to be like fully referencing that kind of stuff because that is like paragraphs, pages and pages and pages of various Reddit theories, basically, right? And I'm not saying, so this is not going to be a deep dive into any of those. It would be an interesting video to make to really look into all those theories. But yeah, so I'm going to be looking at Crow Girl from my perspective as a reader, which is kind of minus some of that stuff. So we get to see Aqua says, "Don't you have anything better to do? You always come to annoy people." Crow Girl says, "I'm just guiding you to the right destiny. I'm kind after all." Aqua goes, "Destiny, eh? Spoken like a true god." She's like, "Well, I guess it depends on how you define God. According to my definition, those of you who have memories of previous lives can also be called gods." So that's interesting. So here we see Crow Girl defines herself as a god, basically, and Aqua views her as such as well. Assumedly, Ruby would as well, and that's kind of the general view that we as an audience have of her, right? That she's a god. But we know that she herself thinks of herself as one. Because she said can also be called gods. We also know that she's not just those of you who have memories of previous lives. Like she's not in that because she's saying that as like a separate category. So this isn't just someone like Ruby and Aqua. This is obviously someone with more power. But it's interesting to look at in the context of what's said later. So Aqua says, "Let me change the question. What happened to your parents? Do you have a family register or something?" She laughs and she goes, "You just like you guys, my mother also gave birth to this vessel. I can't say she's a normal parent though." and then we get the parents. Or Crow Girl says, "Would you like to touch it? It's a child's body that you can find anywhere." It's such unfortunate phrasing. such unfortunate phrasing. Scouting a child. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's look at this, right? So we have Crow Girl. So she is a physical person. She isn't a spirit. She isn't some weird medium. She isn't some weird in between. She isn't directly like a spiritual being. She is, at the very least, in a physical body. Now, she's probably a god in this physical body, but we know that she has been incarnated into this world. Just like you guys, my mother also gave birth to this vessel. I can't say that she's a normal parent, though. I don't know what she means by that. It'd be interesting to see who, like, so this theoretically god, right? One of these gods, assuming there's multiple, right? This god that is Crow Girl. Why did she choose? Because she said, I can't say she's a normal parent, though. Did she intentionally choose her? Did she not intentionally choose her? I'm leaning more towards it being intentionally chosen, because we know that she has pointed out before that the fact that Ruby and Aqua were reincarnated as the children of I probably isn't a coincidence. Like there's meaning in that. There's an intention there. So maybe this was just a compatible vessel for this god. I don't know. But it is an interesting thought. And it's interesting to know Crow Girl is 100% physical. Everyone can see her. Obviously, she's going to be in the movie, right? Love that. That's going to be hilarious. But this god is inhabiting. So it's an interesting question of why. And I think we kind of get to see some stuff later. And Aqua goes, She's like, what? And he goes, will you play the child role in this movie? Sits there, she thinks, okay. Just the panel of her face, and she goes, huh? Oh, it's good. It's really good. I love this style with like the really thick lines. It's really good. It's used again later. Just see Crow Girl display this kind of emotion is really fun, especially given that I think she was originally introduced as like more of a less of like a character, if that kind of makes sense. What I'm trying to say there. Her character is getting really fleshed out. I can't wait to see what they do with her in the future with the movie and everything. It's hilarious. And she goes, are you stupid or what? For your sake, you better stop making weird jokes. Who do you think I am anyways? And he goes, I don't know. And she goes, at the very least, I'm the same kind of person who has the ability to transfer the memories of the dead to the body of a baby. I'm not someone you can easily negotiate with. Aqua goes, I see. In that case, you can at least act right. So this is an interesting line. So Aqua, I don't think knows the true nature of Crow Girl. He says, I don't know. I would say that that's probably very legit. I don't think he knows her true nature. She goes, at the very least, I'm the same kind of person who has the ability to transfer the memories of the dead to the body of a baby. So this is, I think, putting her on the level of God again, which we've seen earlier. She herself thinks of she thinks of herself as a god, refers to herself as one, basically. Aqua refers to her as one. So this is just her saying, if nothing else, she's on the same level as someone who has the ability to transfer the memories of the dead to the body of a baby. So she's on the same level. Now, is she the one that put Aqua and Ruby in their bodies? I don't know. You can read pages and pages of theories of that online. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it was her. I don't know. That's an entirely different can of worms. That's a little outside the scope of this chapter. But so Aqua says, I see. In that case, you can at least act right. Wouldn't it be more convenient for you if this movie was a hit? Isn't that why you went out of your way to get involved, even though we didn't ask for it? She goes, good guess, but it's against logic for me to get involved. And then Aqua says, well, then from now on, don't get involved anymore. I don't want to see your face again. So he smiles. So this is interesting. She says, good guess. So we can assume that what Aqua says here is correct, which is wouldn't it be more convenient for you if this movie was a hit? Isn't that why you went out of your way to get involved, even though we didn't ask for it? So Crow Girl, this god, wants the movie to be a hit. Wants this movie to be successful. We've known this, right? She's always been pro-revenge for Aqua. And so, again, that just kind of begs the question as to who is Kamiki? Who is Hikaru Kamiki? I'm pretty sure that's his name. It's been a second. Don't crucify me, please. Or do. No, I'm a fake fan. I'm wearing the fake fan pants today. But who is he that he has angered this god? And, as we've established, Crow Girl is a god. She's a physically incarnated god, but she is still a god. She is referred to herself as a god. She's referred to her own powers as a god. She is a god. So why does this god want to kill Hikaru or want to, help Aqua get back at him? That's the big question, isn't it? I can't answer that. I don't know. I'll read and information will get revealed to me, I guess. As for what it could be, I don't know. I mean, all the funny theories about Hikaru being like an incarnation of a different god, like a god of death. And that's why the gods are so intent on his downfall. I said god of death, whatever. But him being the incarnation of a god, because we know that gods can physically incarnate. We've established that is a thing that can happen with Crow Girl. There's tons of theories. I would say personally, I guess right now I think that Hikaru would be an incarnated god. that just kind of is going around and making a mess of everything. So the other gods want to take care of him. At least Crow Girl does. But maybe if Crow Girl wasn't the one to reincarnate Aqua and Ruby, maybe them as well. I don't know. That's the big funny thing. I'd say that's probably what I personally subscribe to. Let me know what you personally think down in the comments below. Oh, I'm such a professional YouTuber. So we continue. She goes, "You poor thing, your soul is crumbling already. You can't judge things anymore. But you'd better know your position and manners. If I wanted to, with just my fingertip, your soul would be..." It's not going to reference this. Never mind that. "Can you be an actor or not?" Lol. So obviously Aqua's under a lot of stress. His soul is crumbling. We've known this. So Crow Girl, obviously here put into a similar position and framing panel-wise and art-wise that she was whenever she was first introduced as this more mysterious spiritual being. It's again hammering home the fact she is a god that's incarnated and has control over people's souls. But I love the Aqua. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at this point, I think. I don't think that he really cares what happens to him. He goes, "Never mind that. Can you be an actor or not?" And she goes, "How persistent. Entertainment is not my place. After all, I guide people, control their destinies with the light of the moon." Light of the moon. I think theorists are going to have a time with that one. I think theorists are going to have a time with that line. I'm looking forward to kind of see what they cook up. I'll study up this week. I'll look into all that stuff this week because I really am interested in kind of where the theories currently stand. You got Aqua being basing. If you can't do it, just say it already. You complain about various things, but you act like you can do it if you want to. Lame. In the end, you're just like that annoying old man who lectures young people acting all high and mighty, even though you can't do anything if you sit at the same table. Just say it. "I don't have the skills, so I can't do it. I'm sorry." It's based. Oh my gosh. It's like Crow God. Oh, I love this page. These two panels. She goes, "Huh? I could do it, okay? Don't look down on me." Never fails. It never fails. Oh my gosh. I love it. She's pissed. Aqua's just on a tear. Aqua's just on an absolute tear. Dude is fully in dark mode. Dude's fully in full edge mode. He's fully in middle school mode. I don't have the skills. I really just said skill issue. I really said skill issue. The final page of the chapter is we see the director and Ruby. This is going to be interesting. Seeing an Aqua says, "I got a child actor that you might be able to use." And she goes, "No, he didn't. I came here of my own free will." What a great chapter. I loved it. It's so good to get back into Oshinoko. I've been kind of more immersed in it because I mentioned this last episode. My friend Kyle's been reading through it. Maybe one day he catches up. He can join me on these chapter reviews. But it's so much fun. It's such a good series. It's written so well in every way. I really think I love this last page. It's going to be very, obviously Crow Girl. I loved her character development this chapter, where we get to kind of see more of her as a quote unquote person, if we want to call her that. We get to see more of her personality and more of Aqua's kind of neutrality, and I think without getting his inner thoughts, kind of seeing maybe what he looks like from an outside perspective. Though I don't know if that's fully intentional or not, but that's what I'm going to go with. It's going to be really fun, I think, for her to be in this in this movie. It's going to be hilarious seeing her interact with everyone. This god, right, interacting with everyone. Obviously, Ruby knows her as well. It's going to be interesting to see maybe what kind of discussions this brings up between Aqua and Ruby, as to Crow Girl and kind of everything there. And Ruby's very much so in the mindset now of Aqua loves me, I love Aqua. That's where we're at right now. And so her deciding this, I think that this could bring some interesting questions as to Aqua's intentions up. And maybe we kind of get to see how he's planning on handling Ruby with everything. I think that it's going to be really, really interesting to see going forward. just because it's gonna be fun. Just plain and simple. It's gonna be really fun, but I think it's also gonna be very, very interesting. I'm really looking forward to Aka and Mango cooking, because I mean they absolutely were in the chapter this week. That's so true. They absolutely were in the kitchen this week. There was a lot of fun. It's Crow Girl dialogue. You can always dig into Crow Girl dialogue and make baseless assumptions off of your first thought that pops into your head. That's what everyone loves doing. That's what I love doing. But yeah, so that is chapter 127. Obviously, I very thoroughly enjoyed it. This was a really, really fun chapter. So, if it was fun, the video, then obviously there is something you liked. So, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what you thought of this chapter. Also, be sure to join the Discord server, link in description, to hang out with me and my buds, and we can talk Oshi no Ko or other anime, Mushoku Tensei, if you like that, since I know a lot of people here do. We could do that, hang out, be sure to join that. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.